Welcome to Stick at Night. I'm your Hudson County Commissioner, Anthony L Romano, representing the great cities in District 5 of Hoboken and Jersey City. Very excited today because we have on two people that are doing wonderful things with the community. One has been the forefront of the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce for many years now. She's the President and CEO of Hudson County Chamber of Commerce, the one and only Maria Nieves. And also with us today is the General Manager of Hudson County Chamber of Commerce, also a business owner, the wonderful Dawn Pascal. So let's start off. Maria.
Thank you for having us.
Good. Maria,
this is awesome.
Tell us what's going on, Hudson County Chamber.
Well, we're doing a lot, as you say, in the community, and it's been, as you know, as we all know, it's been a really tough year. It's been a very tough year for everyone, particularly small businesses. So we're doing a few things to help shore up small businesses, especially our restaurants, which have been really hit. And you know this because you are a restaurant, a bar owner in Hoboken. And you know that they were shut down for a long time, and then all the capacity limits, which I think were just increased, but there's still a long road ahead for those businesses. And so what we've done at the Chamber is launched Love Your Local. And this is a program specifically to raise funds so that we can provide some cash support to local restaurants in the form of gift cards. And I'm going to let Dawn talk a little bit more about the idea and how it came about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dawn's also a business owner with her own food business, so it's restaurants and food eateries that we're supporting, so she gets it.
So this really is, so thank you, Anthony, for having us on. So this really is something that's very close to my heart. I know the effect of the pandemic from last year and sort of kind of climbing my way back from it as being, a small business owner and being greatly affected. So last year, Maria and I, in talking about how many different ways can we help the community, we came up with the fundraising effort of Love Your Local, which really is giving back to the local communities, the local business owners, the local restaurants in town. It started out initially thinking that we were just going to be Hoboken, and then grew it, of course, to be all of Hudson County, including Jersey City. We even have some Bayonne businesses involved. So really what it's doing is showcasing local businesses who want to become part of the program, be stakeholder businesses with us to sort of grow this real grassroots effort. The first initiative that we did have that kicked off around Valentine's Day ran for 4 days. Over the Valentine's Day weekend, we raised almost $12,000, and we were able to give back almost half of that back to the actual businesses themselves in the form of gift cards. So it's really wonderful. It's growing, it's brand new, but we'll get there as we do other iterations throughout the year.
Well, my compliments to both of you because you thought outside the box, and obviously being a longtime supporter of Maria, I'm going to honestly say it. I think that you do more than the so-called supposed special improvement tax that was given to the businesses of Hoboken. I'd like to know, what are we getting for our twice yearly payments as opposed to all the work that you're doing? I'd like to see more coordination. And I always bring that up to both our dear friend Greg Delaquilla.
Yes.
I think there needs to be some kind of joining of effort.
Right.
And I know you've tried and you've been frustrated. And hopefully this summer, hopefully it's going to be a better relationship and an understanding. And I think Greg has to understand what you are doing is tremendous. I think you're to be admired during this tough time when we've watched, the businesses suffer. We have expenses.
Right.
Let's face it, myself,
Right.
I know, for example, awnings or outdoor furniture or fencing or
That's
required.
right, all the fencing that went up.
Working with the cities to, obviously for social distance and safety for the residents, the outdoor, the
Just having
parkettes.
face masks
Yes.
and the hand sanitizers and, changing all the way you do things and then having to retrain your staff. All of that it's time, it's money. And so we also think that this is a great opportunity right now as we head into recovery, hopefully. I mean, I'm really hopeful that we're going to see a full opening by what? By July 1 is my hope. And that as we get into that period, now is a great time to really also tout the fact that Hudson County is a real food destination. So what we're doing is not just trying to shine a spotlight on how we can financially support, but also really help to bring some visibility to this region For folks who are not going to be traveling, let's face it, a lot of us are not getting on planes anytime soon. So we're going to be doing a lot of local travel. We want folks to come to Hudson County and experience the great restaurants we have here and the night scene that we have here. They don't have to travel far, and it can be safe, and you can support a local economy right in your own state.
You know, it's helped us a lot that I'm finding out over the last, starting with the summer, but now more than ever, New York residents are coming to Hoboken.
That's right.
We have a steady New York clientele now, and that's amazing. And I think it's part of the advertising that you have done, and the idea that Hoboken and Jersey City have always been considered, nicknamed the sixth borough.
Right.
And I don't know if you're feeling it too, Maria, do you see it or hear it, but you know, for us, it's been big.
Oh no, absolutely. I think as people try to avoid, unfortunately, you know, just the density of New York City, where do they turn? They turn to a place like Jersey City, like Hoboken, where it's more manageable, where you can walk a street and not be overwhelmed, and you can feel safe dining out. So.
And people want a change of scenery. So it's one thing that Manhattan is as large as it is, right? And that there are, you know, different neighborhoods and sections and places that people can go. But something about taking the 3-mile drive across the river and coming over to this side is a complete change of scenery. And because the requirements are always changing, and you know, the New Jersey requirements were different than New York requirements, it helped bring people over to our side. And then once they come over, they realize, hey, you know what,
It's not that
Hoboken,
bad.
really, you're right.
It's
really
actually,
cool.
it's not even
Why
not that bad. It's great.
It's fabulous.
Easy to
Of
get
course
to.
it's fabulous.
And yeah, I mean, what am I saying, right? And I think to your point, if you've been stuck in your apartment in New York City, oh my gosh, just taking a drive over the bridge or under a tunnel, that's a change of pace that does you wonders.
Right.
So
Exactly.
Safety issues also.
Right.
I think there's still closures over there, that, you know, constant bicker between the mayor and the governor, as
Which is
opposed to
not
here where
good,
it seems to
yeah.
be more governmental leadership is
and
in tune with
cooperation.
each other.
Exactly.
And, you know, after we come back from the commercial break, I want you to tell me exactly how you go out into the community. I know that you've done so many different things, but there's a lot that you need to tell us. Dawn, your business is what, for our audience? What's
So my business is Home Sweet Home Specialty Bakery. I started in Hoboken 8 years ago and then moved my business up to Cliffside Park, which is at the start of Bergen County. The majority of my wholesale customers are still Hoboken and Jersey City-based businesses.
So you deliver.
So we deliver. We deliver 7 days a week to all the businesses. So again, something like this effort really touches my heart because, one, I started my business in Hoboken. I was a Hoboken resident for 20 years, and in addition to, I know how these other businesses have been
When we come back from our commercial break, we'll continue with the leadership of Hudson County Chamber of Commerce and how they've spearheaded many efforts to help us all. Be right back.
Hudson TMA reminds you that before you ride, you should perform the ABC Quick Check. Here's how to do
You
it.
don't want your bike to fail you. So get in the habit of doing the ABC Quick Check before you ride. A is for air. Check that your tires are properly inflated. They should be pumped up to the inflation rating printed on the tire. Many bicycle pumps come with a pressure gauge, so you can make sure they're properly inflated. Low pressure tires can easily puncture. B is for brakes. Check that your brakes are working. Your brake lever shouldn't come closer than a thumb's width to the handlebar. Your wheel should spin freely when the brakes are off. C is for the cranks, chain, and cassette. Grab both crank arms like this and wiggle them to make sure they aren't loose. Spin the pedals and make sure the chain runs smoothly through the gears. Quick means making sure your wheels are on tight if you have quick release wheels. The wheels should be snug in the dropouts and the quick release lever fastened tight.
We have to be able to police ourselves because we don't want anybody to tarnish our badge.
When internal affairs complaints are not handled properly, the public may believe that most officers commit crimes, when in fact that's not true. Most officers are professional.
If complaints aren't taken properly and the community that we serve doesn't have a trust in the police department, I mean, there has to be legitimacy. If the community doesn't trust the police, how could we effectively serve them? And by having a really comprehensive internal affairs unit that handles the complaints properly and people have trust in the system, it enables us to do our entire job as a police department much better.
We need the community as much as they need us. So That citizen that has lost trust in the community could be a very important witness for us tomorrow.
Welcome back to Stick at Night. I'm your Hudson County Commissioner, Anthony Romano, with Dawn and Maria from the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce. And to show how your tentacles are stretched out, we reached to Cliffside Park, and you deliver. And Maria has been rowing them over from Manhattan.
That's right.
It's been interesting. I think a lot of it to do with Uber. I think a lot of it has to do with this still strict closures over in the city, and also safety. They feel safe in Hoboken and Jersey City.
Right.
And they do give a good vibe. So Maria, tell us more of your thoughts.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's also, we're in an age where digitally, small businesses, small organizations like our chamber can actually reach an audience in New York through Facebook, through really inexpensive advertising. So, it really behooves all of us to be making sure that we are reaching out widely and not just sort of trying to. We need to get our local residents out and supporting, but we need to think about New York. We need to think about Bergen County and Essex County. Newark is not that far, and the PATH train, brings you over in like 10 minutes. So I think that there's a great opportunity now for everyone to think regionally. And as I was mentioning earlier, I think now is a great opportunity for Hudson County to really be seen as a foodie destination and as well an arts and culture destination. Because the two things really in my mind go hand in hand. When you have assets like Mile Square Theater and Art House Productions, and if the Lowe's Theater comes online with the project that Jersey City has underway, when you start to bring those folks in to see a show, then maybe they stay at a hotel and maybe they go out to your bar after the show. There's a lot more economic output that can be generated. So I think now with the arts rising and really burgeoning in Hudson County with the recovery, I think we've got a confluence of a lot of great things that really we need to take advantage of and then say, hey, we've got great restaurants. We've got, RPM Raceway, which is a great entertainment venue. We've got Liberty Science. There are a lot of great things to do here in Hudson County. So come, enjoy it, enjoy the safety, enjoy the small town feel of it, and then spend some dollars at a restaurant and a hotel.
Well, I think you did something very wonderful too. Historically, Hoboken and Jersey City have always been somehow tied to each other. We're the little sister. And to continue to make sure that, to bring Jersey City involved, it's important because Jersey City has, one of the, all these surveys that you read about. Hoboken's one of the densely populated. Jersey City is one of the best urban living spots to live in. And I think that these things help draw. Mm-hmm. Also, we got to mention that you do two wonderful events that we've missed because of COVID. Your one event in the fall in the Elks, and the other one that you do in the Liberty Center every year. And you do an amazing job. I can only imagine the logistics and the organizational time and effort to be put into that.
Yeah, so we did miss our legends at Liberty Science Center. And so this past year, we did it virtually, which is quite, it's not quite the same thing. We did have a wonderful sort of virtual event that we produced, and we thanked all of our longtime members without whom, our chamber simply wouldn't exist.
But the one in the fall too, you're doing when you give the awards to the different
the
awards.
Business Awards dinner, which last year we have done at the Elks for the most part, and then we had moved it to the Colo Club, which is a fantastic spot. We did miss doing that as well. And, quite frankly, we've missed our members. Last year, we did our annual business meeting in February. We had a couple of small events up until the beginning of March. And we've gone a year. The only thing we've done is a golf outing. You were at that golf outing. We were able to do that because it's outdoors.
And for those out there, you do another tremendous job. The golf outing is such a classy event that you do, and people always have a warm feeling there. So we thank you for that also. And the other thing that you do well is that a lot of people don't realize you have the maps.
The
into
maps.
that. I
Oh
mean,
my gosh, I have them in my car. I should
you
have
got
brought
it, yeah,
one
but
for
you-
me for
definitely,
us
but
to.
you got logistics, the mess up in the beginning. You solved that problem. You didn't finger point. You said, this is what we got to do. And I think that's one of the attributes that you do well, is to solve. And tell us about the maps, ladies.
Well, the maps are, we've been wanting to do a map for a long time. Believe it or not, people still like their maps. You can pick up your phone and do a Google. But for some reason, people like the physical map. So these maps have Hudson County on one side, and then on the flip side, a blow up of Jersey City and Hoboken. And then they have ads and everything and tell you where all, the great spots are. But, what we're going to be doing is actually, as we do recover and open up, we're going to be sending those out to our members. And we've been distributing them to members like you and some of our
People
hotels.
take them. You have to see it. We have
Yeah,
to interact twice.
to be honest, there really isn't an asset like that we're aware of in Hudson County. So we do feel like, as a chamber, that's something we can provide
We did
as
it
a
years
service.
ago, right? Then there was a gap. Something
Yeah.
Ironically, the distributors become the problem.
Right.
I
mean, it's a logistical issue, but once you get your arms around it, and we are all about trying to solve problems. And to your point earlier, we are looking to work with as many partners as we can, because no one organization can do it alone. We know that government can't do it alone. We know that business can't do it alone. So we
Partnerships.
do need to collaborate. We need the private-public collaboration, and then we need the partnerships with other organizations like ours. And so with the Love Your Local, we are sort of coalescing a grassroots group of restaurants to raise money in that sector. And then I also want to put a plug in, if I can, for our Hudson Gives event that's coming up in May.
Go ahead.
Hashtag Hudson Gives. On May 13th, we're going to be collaborating with 60 to 70 nonprofits in the area. And our goal this year is to raise $500,000 for local nonprofits. And these include nonprofits like the Hoboken Shelter, the Hoboken Historical Museum, Mile Square Theater. There are a lot of Hoboken organizations that participate. And it is one of the things that I'm proud of, is the fact that we have got a really close relationship now between Jersey City and Hoboken. I don't know if you can speak to that a little bit, since you've seen it firsthand.
Yeah,
the growth.
no, absolutely. I think that people have a misconception that Jersey City is so large and that Hoboken is so small, and that there aren't similarities, but there are actually a lot of similarities.
Tremendous similarities.
Yeah.
Tremendous. When we come back from the commercial break, I'd like to continue with, I would ask you, what's your biggest frustrations and how it is working with the local governments in Hoboken and Jersey City. Again, this is Hudson County Commissioner Anthony Romano, and when we return, we're going to get the honest feelings of two ladies that have done a tremendous job during this pandemic, and both as a government official, I say it, both as a business owner, I say it, and they're to be commended and for their work, and let's hope they don't burn out. That's why we need to support them, and let's support that Hudson Gives event, because we support so many nonprofits, and that's important. We can never forget them. You mentioned the shelter and Jackie Cherubini, they do a great job. Again, we'll be back for our last segment in a moment. Thank you.
Voting by mail has never been easier. Just follow these steps to ensure your vote will be counted. Open your envelope. You will find your certificate, return envelope, and official ballot. When casting your ballot, use only a pencil, black, or blue ink, not red. Completely fill in the oval to the right of each selection. When writing in, do not repeat a name printed on the ballot. If torn or damaged, your vote will not be counted. Fold your ballot and place it in the pocket of the certificate before sealing it with the adhesive strip. Do not detach the strip and paper from the certificate. Fill out the required information on the certificate and don't forget to sign. If you are not mailing or delivering your ballot in person, make sure both you and the bearer of the ballot sign your name and address on the certificate and return envelope. After that, just place it in the mailbox and your vote will be counted. For more information, you can visit our website at www.hudsoncountyclerk.org or www.hudsoncountyNJ.org.
Hudson TMA reminds you that if you are going to ride your bike after dark, you must wear the proper attire.
Can you see me? How about me? It's more difficult to ride at night, but if you have to, make sure you can be seen.
Check this out. I'm wearing white, but it's not enough because I'm still difficult to see.
No matter what time of day you ride, always wear bright clothing. But at night, you really need to wear reflective or retroreflective gear. If you don't have any, buy some retroreflective tape and put it on your shoes, your jacket, and your helmet. It helps reflect light back to the driver of a car.
Make sure your bike has reflectors.
And you need a headlight and a tail light. That's the best way to get noticed in the dark. And it's the law.
Remember, the sooner a driver can see you and recognize you, the sooner they can react.
Welcome back to Stick at Night. I'm Commissioner Romano, representing District 5, Hoboken and Jersey City. Dawn and Maria, continue what we said. What's your biggest frustrations, and how is it working with the government?
So I think, my biggest frustration is that there are a lot of organizations in Hudson County, and sometimes I think we inadvertently, we don't mean to, we step on each other's toes a little bit instead of calling each other up and saying, hey, I'm working on this. How can we work on this together instead of duplicating efforts? I feel like there are a lot of silos. It's not that big a county. There's 800,000 if we round it up, more or less. But it feels like there are a million different universes within the county.
Tell me about it.
And it really is who you know and don't know. And I guess I'm always trying to position the chamber as an organization that, if it's something that's going to help our members, we are a membership-based organization. So we have to help our members first, but then we're also thinking about, obviously we want to help the community. What helps the community helps our members. We're always willing to take a look at what you're doing and try to figure out a way to work with you within the parameters of what it is we're doing. And at the very least, share information. So, I've tried to come at the work at the chamber as the universe is abundant. It's not a zero-sum game. If you win, the chamber has to lose and vice versa. I think we need to change that sort of way of thinking. With regards to government, I think it's more of the same. It's, I'd love to have, always have better communication with them. They're
I know
busy.
we were both frustrated,
I'm
you
busy.
and I, with the special improvement thing, and you know how I felt.
Right.
Maria
yes.
belongs to be there.
Yes.
And,
and we're still trying to, to develop a relationship with the Hoboken SID. I know that they've been doing some programs that are similar to ours, and we want to make sure that everybody understands who's doing what. Again, we're here to support the business community wholly in Hoboken, and I believe that their mission is to support sort of the property owners that are represented in their SID. I know they're just 2 years into it, so but that's an example of where we have a couple of organizations working the same bailiwick, and we need to understand what each other is doing, as opposed to we have limited resources. This, Stick. There's only so much money out there at times. I'm a big believer we can continue to grow the pool of money, but at any one given time, there are limitations, so you've got to work together.
And we have vibrant leaders now in cultural affairs.
Yes.
In the county.
Yes.
Which,
Yes.
they love working with you. I think Krista Kenny, the deputy, and Jeannie Ewing's doing a phenomenal job.
Yes.
And it's that alliances that make things work.
She's been supportive of us, yeah.
And also,
that's a good example,
your
actually.
other two events that you do, I miss. You do the monthly
yes.
at the W, and you do the quarterly
and
at
actually,
Amanda's.
I was thinking that I'm hoping we can get back to the in-person in May. I'm hoping at the W. That would be great, because we miss that. And it's a chamber. There's only so much you can do virtually. You've got to see people. Right. Doing business is about meeting people, and you do business with people you like. How can you like them if you don't meet them and see them? I think we're going to continue to do some level of virtual, but we've got to get back to the in-person.
And your quarterly meetings?
Quarterly meetings.
That you do in Amanda's.
Oh, that's right.
So you do
the Hoboken events where we've had the mayor
right.
and those roundtables, which I think are really great events, actually. And and do, people bring tough questions for the mayor. But, that's an example where the mayor has come out for those types of things, and we've had other speakers.
Yeah, and I've gotten, questioned there too with different things that involve the county because people want to be knowledgeable in certain areas, or what can this level of government do for me? Again,
and I think one thing that people are still, always frustrated with is how do you navigate as a small business owner? I don't know if you can speak to this, Dawn. How do you navigate government?
Go ahead, Dawn.
Well, first is really understanding what responsibility you have as the business owner, right? And what mandate the government, the city, the town, the local, the council, whatever it is, might be asking you to do, right? So when you talk about all of these requirements and you talk about safety for your customers, safety for your staff, et cetera, I know that I've jumped personally through a ton of hoops to make the process as easy as possible to get my customers back. But first and foremost, my staff, number one priority. Of course, my customers' priority and care and well-being is up there as well. But if I don't have good, healthy staff, then I don't have a business. So you navigate. To your point exactly, you make friends. You start alliances. You ask questions, right? So either you're going to be there and present to ask the question and try to get the help, or you're just going to continually sort of run around in circles and constantly change and spend maybe more money than you would have to as a small business. So I think that, always just finding the right contact and asking questions has helped me navigate.
Yeah, I think the one thing that the pandemic has taught all of us is just how important communication is. Right. Whether you're a business that now has employees scattered across the state working from home or across the world, or you are, the state of New Jersey trying to make sure that people are getting information about COVID and resources, and the PPP information has to get out there. It really is amazing how just very basic it is, but it's just really about communication and getting things out there. That's why folks like you are so important. You're one of those folks who comes out and does participate and does share information, which we've always appreciated at the Chamber.
Well, I'm honored, and as you said too, I want to see if I can help you out with hosting an event in the bar. And luckily now things start to open up. Maybe we can have it whatever place has the breakfast outdoors. Maybe that can help you. I know the Malibu, and they do a good job with the tent and make people feel comfortable. As you said, the idea is to get people again feeling comfortable to do it. I just can't thank you enough for coming on today. I can't applaud you enough for the work that you do during these difficult times. I think that you are such an asset, both of you, to Hoboken and to Hudson County. And for, Maria, you've always put ego aside, and you've done the right thing always for the good of all. And I mean, that many people don't do it that way. There's some people I know that some people want their name on shirts, and things like that. And I think that you've helped our other organizations, Rotary, and you keep Greg real, and Dawn, to see that you still are hooked into Hoboken, and yet your business is all the way at Cliffside. It's just a tremendous, compliment towards you. Commissioner Anthony Romano here for Stick at Night. Hope to see you again soon. Remember, Hudson Gives on May 13th.
Thank you.
And let's support the Chamber. Thank you. Talk to you soon.